Hi guys, welcome to the Trademate Sports Fantasy special for Game Week 26 and Game Week 27. Here we are going to cover a bit of the transfers that we are considering, the strategy behind them, and in general give you some good fantasy tips.
Have a look at the transfer algo, Ollie.
Yes, using the transfer algorithm.
Maybe we should explain what that is.
Yeah, so it's an algorithm developed by a guy called Mikkel. And essentially, he's taking into consideration like the value of the player and how much points they are expected to score in every single game based on who they are playing in the next round. And that gives a ranking of all of the players and helps us decide on who we are going to put into our team. Especially if you're like stuck between two players, then it is tremendously good to be able to have some statistics to sort of back up the decision.
Definitely. Yeah, it's actually helped me out quite a bit lately.
All right, so I'm just having a look at my team here and sort of the strategy I went with, because I played my wildcard 2 rounds ago, and I made one big mistake there, so please avoid that. And that was that I first made all of my regular transfers, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to use the wildcard. So I sort of wasted those. It would have been good to have them for the next round, but now I have built up to true transfers again for the next round, so I'm going to make some more subs now going forward. And one of the gambles I took was putting in both Martinelli and Brandon Williams into my team, which are both very cheap and necessary. I also subbed off Mane as he was injured and brought in Salah and captained him, which has paid off okay, or pretty good like last round, but not so much this round. But the Martinelli and Williams have not been getting too much game time now, and it is a bit risky with the Europa League starting back up again, because then they could very well feature in those games, and United playing Luke Shaw in the Premier League, and apparently playing Nketiah or maybe Lacazette or whatever for Arsenal in the Premier League too. So it's tricky. I think I'm going to stick with those for at least one more round and then sort of see. So what the algorithm has is Mohamed Salah as the clear captain's choice going forward ahead of Sadio Mane. It has Martial rising a lot. And,
it's interesting.
He's pretty high up. Son is pretty high up, scored 2 goals this weekend. Pretty good goals too. Harvey Barnes is high up for Leicester. He looks very good value to me too, and was a player that I have been considering putting into my team. And then I guess we'll see whether I end up making that decision. I put James Maddison out of my team, and I don't think I'm going to really be putting more Leicester players back into my team until I see them start winning again. I'm actually considering subbing off Jamie Vardy, and I was thinking about replacing him with Calvert-Lewin, which I overall think looks great value, but then Everton has this tremendously tough schedule coming up over the next 4 games. So I think I will sort of be on the fence there a bit with Calvert-Lewin and maybe swap him in eventually. Traore is still good value, so I'm having him in my team, and I'm gonna stick with that decision. It's also interesting to note, the values just keep decreasing the further down you get, and there's a pretty clear cutoff between like Maddison and upwards towards Salah. Bruno Fernandes rising in the rankings, which is interesting. De Bruyne diving a bit, but I don't think I'm gonna sub off De Bruyne, as you need to have a City player in there, and he's just one of those which is constantly playing.
Yeah, I took out Maddison too.
Yeah.
And I put in 2 Everton players last week, which was good. Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, already paid off for you well.
Yeah, it paid off well, but it is a worrying time. I guess I haven't got a free
hit.
Free hit, that's it. Yeah. So I've used my free hit already, so which I would have probably liked to have used coming up in the next few weeks, especially with these like double game weeks and stuff like that coming up. So, I guess I only put Everton players in there because they've got games coming up where they're actually going to be playing during those double game weeks. I think from memory, that's why I put them in. So even though they are against tough opponents, at least they're going to play.
Yeah, I guess that's still good. I mean, with rescheduling and stuff, it makes sense to try and stack your team with players like that, and then you can always make your substitutions to sort of make it pay off later. And
but yeah, in the forwards, I put in Jimenez and Calvert-Lewin. I think they're tremendous value, and I've still got Ings in there too, who's just about the best value you can get around. So I think all three of them must be like near the top of the forwards rankings.
Yeah, let's have a look at the forwards next. I mean, Jimenez is on top. He's diving. Ings is second. Those two look to be by far the best value. Vardy is rising. He's been struggling for a while now. Really scoring. So
I brought him in just as he started his bad run of form.
Yeah.
So annoying, but yeah, I got rid of him.
I've had him in for such a long time now that I kind of feel like if I take Vardy out of my team, then he's just going to be hitting that run of form again, and I will need to pay a lot more to get him back in. So, but it is tricky, when you see Jimenez doing so tremendously well over time, with Calvert-Lewin looking so promising. Obviously, the algo doesn't rate Calvert-Lewin quite as high as I do, at least. So that's interesting to see. It's also cool to see that Wood is just like overall like a stable, good choice, and with some good fixtures and stuff coming up. Pookie's in there. I mean, I don't think I would want to bet on him doing good. Tammy Abraham is increasing in value and also very high up there.
Strange, isn't it? Abraham hasn't scored. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't scored in a while.
Yeah, it's the fixtures and stuff coming up,
yeah.
which rates him pretty well. And I mean, I subbed him off my fantasy team for when I played my wild card, and part of that was because he was rumored to be injured. Of course, he did end up playing, so that didn't like save me anything. And getting him back into my team now is going to cost me money. But sort of my strategy, like, for the second half of the season has been that, there's always some good value players which I can sort of trade down to by going lower in price. So I figured, I'd rather try and have some players which are in form in my team, and then if it costs me a bit of money to swap them with more expensive players which are going in form, then I can also just trade down on another player. And that's also why I'm doing my transfers when I have two transfers saved up at least. But yeah, I think that's good. So it's kind of like the choices that I am considering right now.
How about Shane Long coming in there? He's rated above Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah,
it's quite interesting.
4.6. I mean, that's the main reason why it's so high up is because he's getting game time at quite a low rating. So maybe someone I would consider subbing Martinelli for. I see they cost the same thing, and Martinelli isn't ranked too high, but I just really rate Martinelli, so that's why I put him into my team. But
I think hold off for a bit. He might get some game time in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I mean, Shane Long, I don't really rate him as a player. He needs 100 chances to score, so it's kind of like he will run hot, and then most likely he'll be on my bench anyway. So yeah, I don't want him in my fantasy team. Then I'd rather bank on someone who's young and promising like Martinelli, and I think that's a lot more fun too.
And then defenders, I mean, I've brought Arnold, and I've always had Arnold, but I've also got Robertson in there now too. So I went with I think like out of everything that Liverpool does, you can really trust in their defence. So I think getting two Liverpool defenders in is like quite a smart move. And I'm happy that I've got the two wing backs, or not wing backs, but the two full backs. Which is I
think wing backs is pretty accurate overall. The two offensive midfielders stuck on the left and right back.
So you kind of guaranteed, like at worst, like one of them's surely going to get an assist each week, and then most of the time they're getting clean sheets too. So I was really happy with that move. And then I guess the thing is, like, if you do put Robertson in, you could also, instead of Robertson, you could put in Gomez like you have and spend like 2 million less.
Yeah, so I went with Gomez in my defense, and with Liverpool's run of fixtures, I'm considering whether I should double up and also put in Mane, but at least when I didn't have Mane in my team, I wanted to get in Gomez because I think he's tremendous clean sheet value at the 5.3 million, which I brought him in for. And he's another player which won't show up high in the rankings because he didn't play for the first half of the season almost. But you can see here, I mean, Van Dijk's been scoring goals, so obviously he's looking tremendously well. And you could consider swapping Robertson for Van Dijk. I mean, Van Dijk's got 1 more point and is $500,000 cheaper. So maybe that's a good move.
Yeah, I just thought Van Dijk, I don't know. Robertson's just a better chance, I think, of getting assists and goals than Van. I don't know, Van Dijk does score a lot of headers though.
Yeah,
but I just feel like Robertson's a bit more of a safer pick because he will get more assists.
Yeah, but he definitely won't get more goals. That's for sure so far.
Yeah.
And for sure in the future too, I think. Yeah, and looking
What's
at
the transfer algo saying for defenders?
So it's kind of like if you want to have the defender picks of the algorithm, then you need to go to Patreon and support the Transfer Algo. So then you'll be able to access it. That's it for this week. And if you liked our fantasy episode, then please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Trademate Sports. We will know then that you guys like what we're making, and we will keep making videos like this. And yeah, if you have players you are considering putting into your team and have a difficult time to choose, you can ask us in the comments for our opinion, and we're happy to help you out. All right, have a good weekend and week, I guess. Yeah, it's a long week ahead, so enjoy.
So there you guys.